Hey everyone, I'm Commissioner Tim Eccles. I'm not too far from the Capitol. I'm down on Memorial Drive. I'm at Better Tomorrow Solar. We've got so many great solar companies in Georgia now, and I have not had a chance to come out and visit with these guys. So I'm actually in their conference room, and they've got a lot of wonderful women working for them, and I've brought them all into our conversation today. Three of them are here, and we're kind of sequestered in their headquarters. And Kristen Baskin, who I've known for a long time, she's up in Athens. So, Kristen, let me start with you. You've been working for Better Tomorrow Solar and with Cave, and it's got to be just great with all the interest in solar going on right now. What are you hearing people say? What are they asking you about?
Yes, it's so exciting working in the solar industry. It actually did not occur to me in all the compost years to do solar, and it's soil and sun are connected perfectly. So the things that I'm hearing about are there's some homeowner association issues that are happening, not because homeowner associations don't like solar, but just because they don't have it in their bylaws, and so they know what to do with it. Sometimes they wonder if everybody's going to like how it looks, and then sometimes they wonder about how a panel on one roof affects the roof on all the other places. So that's something that's really interesting, and I've definitely noticed that people are really excited about solar, and I don't have to do a lot of educating about solar the way I did with composting. So it seems like the education is already there, and the question is just whether somebody can afford it or not.
We've seen this really since I got in office in 2010, these issues that homeowners have to grapple with, right? So is my roof facing the right direction? Is my roof in good enough shape? Do I have the money, to do this? How long am I going to live here? And what does my homeowners association say? I mean, there's a number of different obstacles. Tree cover. Everybody loves trees, but trees are not the friend of solar, at least not directly over your house. So it is certainly something that I think you have to hold people's hand and kind of walk them through. Let me go to Wendy. Hey, Wendy, you talk to folks about solar all the time. Are you hearing them ask about some of these things that Kristen and I mentioned about the roof and about the direction and about the shade? I mean, how important are those things for a customer?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say generally I completely agree with Kristen. I feel like the education is there. I think solar has gone to a place where it's very much so like a prevalent technology. Everyone really knows about it. And I think that companies like Tesla have really played a huge role in popularizing this idea of both having like an electric car, like with the vehicles that they provide, but they're also breaking into solar and they're bringing that conversation to the forefront. So I feel like a lot of the people I talk to on the phone, they're very educated. So I'd agree with Kristen there is that they're not so much asking questions about the specifics of solar and how it would work. They're asking more so questions about things that unfortunately, as an employee of Better Tomorrow Solar, we can't help them with. And those have to do with the incentives that are available on the state level, and also how the utilities in our state treat solar. So I know, Commissioner, you know all about this, but one of the Georgia Power provides net metering, but not all utilities do. So I was just talking to a client today that's interested in buying a system, and he wanted to ask me that question, like, well, how's it going to work with my utility? Like, how can I sign up with Georgia Power to get net metering? And he's not with Georgia Power, and that's kind of like where more of the education comes in, where I have to explain, like, well, not all utilities provide net metering, and sometimes they ask me why, and it's harder to kind of get to those answers of like, how do we get more support on the state level for solar, especially rooftop solar, and how do we get more support from utilities too?
Yeah, Rosie, have you had a similar experience as you talk to customers, and eventually, I guess, to make a buying decision for solar, they've either got to feel like, okay, I'm going to get my money back on this eventually, or maybe they're so committed to using green energy that and they don't have a money issue. They just want to be right there using that technology. Have you seen both of these type of people?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the main thing I think is about education. When you have a conversation, almost with every individual I have ran into, when they learn about solar and how efficient it is and how affordable it has become, I want to say majority of them, about 80 to 90% of them, they think honestly is a no-brainer. Why not go solar? Why not put those panels on top of your home and use the sun, which is shining 365 days a year for free? Let's take advantage of that. So I totally agree with Wendy. I also want to follow up on what Kristen mentioned about the HOAs. I mean, the restriction has been sitting there because of the way solar panels look like in the past. I mean, yes, they were ugly, but I honestly didn't think they were. We have had solar panels on our home since 2005. It's been part of our pride and joy with our home, and we added more a few years ago. But I don't think they're ugly, but I think if HOAs are restricting the homeowners, it's probably because of the way it looks. However, since the panels have come a long way, they have a very sleek, nice look, and frankly, it adds to the house. It's certainly pretty looking than the shingles on the home. So I think it all comes down to education when you look at it, and there needs to be some sort of system to be able to educate the HOA, board, individuals, homeowners, and I honestly feel like when we get to that point, it's not going to be such a battle to get solar on people's homes.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? I remember when I graduated from college, I went to work just down the street at a Ford dealership. A guy that went to my church, he hired me, and I was engaged. I needed a job, and I lived just. We're here on Memorial Drive. I lived just across I-20 over off Glenwood Place, in a little house, and Wendy and I were married, and I remember my boss got all of these bright orange Ford Escorts in from California. He had gotten a good deal on them. I think they had been ordered for a pest control company that went out of business. And one of the things he told us, because I said, these cars are so ugly. He said, don't ever tell a customer a car is ugly. He said, you let them decide if they think the car is ugly, and you try to give them the bright side of this, and the fact that these cars have California emissions and they're cleaner and they're and they get a better deal. And so I learned very early that what I thought about something really didn't matter. That if I'm selling something, it's the customer's opinion that matters. And so, I really think, Rosie, today that solar panels are becoming kind of a status symbol in some ways.
I agree.
You think about, I drive an electric car, and I think about EVs that have a plug, and how how the hybrids used to be a cool thing, but now the whole EV crowd, they kind of look down on the hybrid, right? If you don't have a plug, it's like, oh, you're not really driving an electric car. So these things can become kind of a status symbol. Let me go to Courtney. Courtney, you're doing an internship and you're learning a lot about this stuff. I had a wonderful interview with you that you did a week or so ago. As you started working with all these women here and Kaveh and a lot of the guys that work here, has this encouraged you as a young woman in seeking a career, that this is a great place for a woman to be?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just so fortunate to Rosie and everyone at Better Tomorrow Solar for extending this opportunity. I'm actually an environmental studies student up in Middlebury College in Vermont. And so solar is super, super big up there. You see all the solar farms everywhere. We're building a big solar installation on our campus, actually. And so being able to come back to Atlanta during COVID, I can't be up at school right now. And so being and having this opportunity and being surrounded by so many women is truly a really great experience. And especially in the renewable energy sector, I really think this is the future for energy and electricity generation. So I've been super fortunate to get this opportunity, and really I'm doing policy focus. And that's one of the reasons I spoke with you earlier last week. And so I think that what I've been learning really at the federal level, at the state level, at the county and local levels, really all play into why solar is becoming so great in the country, but also really in the state of Georgia. And solar is really booming here. We don't really have a lot of the incentives, as you were saying, at the state level, but even still, we are really seeing a great increase because of county initiatives. I know Fulton County is doing a lot of work with solar on some of their utility buildings and some of their public buildings. And then I know that there's a big solar cell manufacturing center up in Dalton. So it's really crazy to see, how great this solar boom is and providing jobs for a lot of local Georgians and really bringing a lot of opportunity for solar into the state. And so being a part of that has just been a really incredible opportunity for me.
Well, I'm very proud of all of you for your work. I have 4 daughters myself, and I think about the work my girls are doing. One of them works in the Justice Department in Virginia, doing a lot of scary stuff that worries me every single day. Another of my daughters is a marketing manager. I have a daughter in grad school, and then a daughter that's doing her undergrad now. So I'm very proud of all of those girls. I think, and I'll just say this to you guys as a solar vendor, that the job that you do for customers, the quality of installation that you do, the guidance that you give them, it impacts solar policy. Because when I have people come to me and complain or brag about what they've done on their home, or what they like about it, what they don't like about it, it's important that there be a stream of very positive experiences. Not only me as a public service commissioner, but think about the state representatives and the others who are hearing them and getting feedback from them. It's just very important, the good job that you're doing. Hey, Kristen, let me just go back to you and just ask, because I know you were in the compost business. Is the solar policy that we have in Georgia with net metering, is it getting some traction?
Yes, definitely. Net metering is a big deal, and I know that's something that so the PSC pushed for and put into motion a few years ago. It's everything. There's a ton of people that want to have solar just for that reason, for the ability to get it paid back by Georgia Power, and just for financial reasons. There's a ton of people who are retiring, and they call and they say, "Hey, I'm retiring. I want to make the best possible investment I can," and for them, that's solar. And so they see the power of saving money on their utility bill and also making this great, 12% ROI. So it's amazing that it's such a good financial investment that we almost I don't even get to the environmental conversation with the clients. And something else I was thinking about was, so when my kids were really little, they used cloth diapers, and I used to dry all their diapers in the sun. And I remember when I sat out there in the sun, I would feel this kind of unity with all these other women who had done the same thing, since the beginning of time. We've all just sat in the sun, and we've used the sun to dry everything. And it never takes away from the power of the sun. It's just incredible that you can use so much of something and it doesn't go away. And I actually explained this to my daughters with love. So I have 3 daughters. And so I said, well, because I love Rosalie, I actually love Greta even more. And because I love Greta, I love May even more. So when you have multiple children, that love isn't divided between the 3, it grows. And so with the sun, it's like that. When you use solar power, you're not taking from the sun. It's just, it just keeps growing, and it's incredible. So I know
Yeah,
that's
and-
sort of related to
and-
net
and-
metering, but it's really
And for
cool.
all of you out there wanting some parenting advice or a diaper demonstration, you stick around. We're gonna do another call later on and take you through everything everything you want to know. Hey, look, with 7 children, I have changed a lot of diapers. And personally, I'm very grateful for Pampers.
Yeah, if I beyond 3, I think I
well-
probably would have gone in that direction too.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you all for being live with me today. And how can folks find out more about Better Tomorrow Solar, Wendy? Where can they find you guys on the internet?
Yeah, so you can check out our website, or we're at bettertomorrowsolar.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. We have a lot of great YouTube videos that I love to share, as we have a lot of testimonials with some of our past clients, and it's an amazing way to get to really see what solar panels look like on real Georgia homes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, ladies, thanks a lot. And I guess once we end our broadcast, we'll just meet in the other room and we'll continue having a great time today. So everybody, thanks for joining me today as we learned a little bit more about solar. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.